Alrighty guys, welcome to yet another video that I have on the crew, and this is a different video that I wanted to do for you guys, and this is a video just basically kind of answering the main questions as to features that are features/content that will never appear into the crew. Now I'm just making this video specifically because I've seen a lot of people requesting certain features for the crew that will definitely never happen, that the developers have already said multiple times before that they will not happen. Especially when Black Lotus and Dadwood went over to to the Calling All Units early access invitation that they got back in the day. And so some of these ideas are from, actually a lot of these ideas are from Black Lotus and Dadwood from saying back in the day, and I'm just making the video specifying exactly why certain these features will not exist in the game / content that will not exist in the game. So let's just jump right into the video. So let's jump right into the first category of this video, and that is licensing. Now this video is actually going to be mainly focusing on licensing, and this is just basically, this video is not scripted or anything. I'm just getting information from my head that I remember, and I'm just going to talk about it. So the first question that I'm going to be answering, and the main question that everybody's been answering, and I recently got a question of this on my forum that should have been dead, but it's not. And that question being why Audi is not in the game right now, and if it will be in the game in the future. And the answer to that question is no. Audi will not be in the crew ever, or pretty much any kind of racing game that has police. And this was actually confirmed by EA as well. They specifically said in an article that the reason why Audi is not in their newest installment, Need for Speed 2015, is because they have police in their game. And by the looks of it, Audi just doesn't want anything to do with police, because or maybe even the street racing community, street racing type of games, really. Well, actually, no, scratch the street racing type of games, because Forza Horizon 3 is a street racing game. Well, actually, I'm pretty sure, I'm going to say this out on a limb, but the people of Forza have way too much money to spare on pretty much adding content to the game, so that's probably why they managed to get so many just different manufacturers and so forth. But yeah, pretty much let's just say that Audi will not be in the crew ever because of the fact that we have police in our game, and the same with Need for Speed 2015, which was confirmed by EA themselves. Which I'm kind of fine with. I don't really see any kind of major Audis that I would like to see in the game. I mean, there's the R8, which, meh, I don't really 100% think it should be in this game. I mean, it'd be cool, but since licensing is a pain to get Audis right now, well, yeah, we're not gonna probably have them ever, unless if the game goes available permanently offline and somebody does modding to have them into the game later after the end of the cruise, after the cruise ending. But anyway, moving on from that, still staying on the topic of licensing, there are people that have been talking about pretty much asking why the crew doesn't have a better damage model than it has right now. And there's a pretty simple answer to that. Licensing will restrict, pretty much the damage model will, a better damage model would actually cause less manufacturers to come into the game. Because, I don't know about you, but I'm pretty sure manufacturers just don't want to see their cars damaged, ever. They like their cars being pristine and clean looking, and if there's a damage model that's like super realistic, then I'm pretty sure they don't want anything to do with games like that. Like, take for example, I believe this was Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2 back in the day. The Ferrari F50 was added into Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2, but it didn't have a damage model. So, and now the reason being is because of licensing. Ferrari specifically said, we don't want our car to have a damage model in the game. And basically that was the end of that, and that's how the Ferrari F50 was in the game. Was it the F50 or the F40? I don't remember exactly. But I remember reading an article about that. It was either the F50 or the F40 not having a damage model on it, because just Ferrari requested it. And of course, that's basically how licensing works. You either comply with the the people that are giving you the license, and if you don't, then they'll pull out of your game. And that's just the end of that, pretty much. There's nothing you can do about it. That's the way licensing works. You either comply or you don't. And pretty much not get the car in the end that you want. And of course, there's also people, I'll actually go into a little bit later on in this as well, but pretty much the damage model will not allow cars, but basically would push manufacturers away from the game if it was any better. And of course, you can use Test Drive Unlimited 2 as a perfect example, because Test Drive Unlimited 2 had a lot of cars in their game. And from what I could tell, the only reason being is because their damage model was not the most realistic ever. I mean, there were scratches, there were dents on the cars. That would not majorly affect the look of the car. And of course, the bumpers would hang off, but they wouldn't detach permanently from the car. But yeah, Forza actually has that as well. They have detaching bumpers, permanently detaching bumpers, unlike simulation damage, but that's something different. So yeah, basically, the less realistic damage model you have, or if you don't have a damage model at all, then more manufacturers would actually be willing to give you licenses to their cars. I can assure you that, because, like I said before, car manufacturers do not want to see their cars damaged. They like their cars pristine. So yeah, let's move on from that topic. Another question that I've seen people ask is, requesting/asking is neons in the game. First off, I would like to say no, that's way past everyone's time. If you weren't born in the time when neons were a thing, but you still want them, I'm sorry, but no. And of course, the other reason why neons are not in the game is because, again, the same exact reason for the damage model. Pretty much manufacturers just don't want useless aftermarket parts put onto their cars, like the neons. The neons just look ridiculous on a car in terms of manufacturers' views. Like, and of course, not to mention, those are like old things. Nobody puts neons on their cars anymore, except the people that are just like have been living under a rock their entire lives. So yeah, sorry, but unfortunately no neons in the game. Need for Speed was all about that, but the crew never is about that. The crew's pretty much not in a time zone where neons are still a thing. The game is set in like 2020 or something like that, which is, at that point, neons have already pretty much gone extinct, and nobody uses them. Then, like I said, the reason why neons also will not come into the game is because most manufacturers will not want neons on their cars, so there's not really a point to actually put neons in the game. Because manufacturers will say, oh, you got neons? We don't want the neons on our cars. Sorry. I mean, you guys think it's cool, but honestly, I don't like neons. Neons are just out of date, they're useless, in my opinion. But to each their own, I guess. But again, not gonna happen, unfortunately. What else? I'm gonna get right into this real quick, but people are asking why Porsche is not in the crew, and the reason being is because we have Rough, number one, and number two, well, there's not really a point for Porsche to come in because we have Roughs. And there's another reason to that, but I can't say it because of legal reasons. And the same thing with Audi. I can't say the true reason why Audi will not come into the crew because, again, legal reasons. And I don't want to get sued by Ubisoft on Ubisoft / Ivory Tower. I like their game, definitely. I respect what they've done with the game. But I'm not going to go out on a limb and say legal things about the game that just can't be said. So, and don't bother to message me asking me what those reasons are. I will not say. I cannot say to anyone, and I will not say to anyone. This is just a topic that I will keep to myself. But yeah, let's see. Moving on to another topic, let's see. That's pretty much all the licensing stuff that I could really remember. Let's see. Oh, here's another thing that I just remembered. Why do we not have certain police cars and liveries on the other livery options on the police cars as well? Easy answer, licensing. Like, we have the Dodge Charger police car as an AI slash traffic, and I know I just transitioned to a weird part of the video, but my apologies. But pretty much we have the Crown Victoria as an AI as a traffic car in the game slash AI police car, and the Charger AI slash police car. And people are wondering why we don't actually have them available with the Calling All Units update. Easy answer. Licensing. And of course, because those police cars that you see driving around with the AI and traffic, those are actually not officially licensed vehicles. They're licensed as props in the game. The prop license is completely different compared to the actual vehicle license that is a drivable vehicle in the game. Pretty much the AI drivers have lower quality models, and I'll leave it at that. Pretty much, they're just props and not physical. How would I say it? They're not actually. They are in the game, but they are not drivable without like hacks or whatever. I'll just leave it at that. Let's just say that we're not gonna get the Crown Victoria or the Charger police cars anytime soon. No, I just also remembered. People are also asking about why certain stickers are not available to certain cars, and that's also another easy answer that fits into the category: licensing. They actually have to. The developers of Ubisoft, when they actually make these cars for the game, they actually have to wait for approval from the manufacturers who gave the license to the car in order to have certain features. Like, every single visual option has to be approved by the developers. Every single car livery has to be approved by the manufacturers that give the license. The developers can make this stuff, but the manufacturers make the final decision as to what they can have on their car, because they provided the license. Ubisoft paid for it. Ubisoft did pay for it, but the manufacturers are the ones that call the shots in terms of visual customization and bumpers. Like, this also corresponds with visual customization as well. Like I said, everything has to be accepted by the manufacturers. So yeah, like take for example the rough R235 dirt spec. In the trailer for the R235 excuse me, in the trailer for the R235, when they announced that it was going to be coming to the crew, you could see that in the trailer that the R235's dirt spec kit actually had rally lights as an option, but in the final version of the game, the rally lights were removed permanently, but the the light glare from the rally lights were still there. So I'm pretty sure that they pre-built the kit for that car, and then they sent the 3D models for approval to the company RUF, and the one thing they requested the developers to remove was the rally lights. I'm pretty sure they didn't want the rally lights on their car, and they were like, we don't want it, take it off please. And so they did, to comply with their request. But yeah, and so, and of course, the same thing with the stickers as well, and I know I just failed. But pretty much the same thing with the stickers. The Lamborghini Huracan is the only car in the game that has the 2-year anniversary sticker for the crew, and no other car has it. Reason being is because if they messaged every single manufacturer that's in the game, if they can have this sticker on their car, that would take forever for it to be approved or denied by the manufacturers. And of course, it would also require a lot of phone calls and or message sending to those manufacturers asking if they can have it. So just to prevent the hassle, they contacted Lamborghini and said, hey, we have this special sticker that we're making for our game, can we have it on your car? Which in this case it was a brand new car being added in as calling units, aka the Huracan, and Lamborghini was like, sure, you can have it on our car. And also, not to mention, this is a car that the Lamborghini Huracan also. The reason why they probably asked Lamborghini first is because they were specifically going to make the Huracan available for players that played the game since the start, because it was a special 2-year anniversary sticker along with the Huracan, and nobody else can actually get that 2-year anniversary sticker. It's exclusive to certain players. I have the liberty of having it because I played the game since the beta, since the beginning pretty much, in December. Lucky for me, I got it. But yeah, pretty much that 2-year sticker is not going to be available to any of the other players. Like any of the new players, they can't have it, but they cannot have it. But players that have actually played the game since day one are able to have it. And that's probably the reason why Lamborghini accepted it, because they knew for a fact that not many players are actually going to physically own it, and they are the only ones that are going to have it. And of course, I'm pretty sure Lamborghini also approved of it of them themselves. But let's see, am I getting to the end of pretty much topics I can discuss in terms of licensing? I'm pretty sure that's the end. Let's talk about real quick about the police cars. The reason why the police cars have their visual customizations locked is because, well, the police cars are pretty much just, in a way, separately licensed vehicles from the cars that are already in the game. Well, actually, they're not really. They're the same body style and everything, but they're adding police lights. But they have to get approval from the manufacturers if they want to have different liveries, different police light options, and so forth. They would have to get approval from every single manufacturer of the visual options. And I'm pretty sure most of the time they're not going to accept certain parts of the vehicles. So they just made it a basic look on the police cars. They said, okay, is this fine? With like the basic livery, the police lights and so forth, they sent them a screenshot. It's like, okay, is this fine? To the manufacturers, and they're like, okay, this is simple enough, we'll take this. It's not majorly changing the look of our cars. And so yeah, and of course the newer versions of the police cars, like the Exige, the R235, they all have visual options put onto them in dirt spec, just to kind of differentiate them a little bit, but not majorly change them up too much. But yeah, again, everything is just all pretty much, most of the stuff is just down to licensing in this game. Nothing you can really do about that, to become completely honest, but yeah, pretty much everything is down to licensing. And if you have a question relating to just basically any kind of car stuff, pretty much the main answer that you're going to have is licensing. Anything like a vehicle not being in the game, it's if you have a question regarding like, why is this vehicle not in the game, why is that not in the game, answer, licensing. Why is this sticker not available for this car, whatever, licensing. Pretty much most of the stuff boils down to licensing. And we can't control that, nor the developers. The developers are trying to get by, though, on whatever they can. But thankfully that most of the manufacturers in this game are actually not completely strict in terms of things. Maserati is probably the most strict in terms of like options you can have on your cars. Like the MC12 and the Gran Turismo S have absolutely zero visual customization options for perf spec. The Gran Turismo S has manufacturer colors available, and you cannot put any of the stickers, rims, and pretty much none of the interior colors really. But yeah, pretty much anything that you see restricted on any of the cars, blame it on licensing. Not completely blame it, just basically say it's related to licensing instantaneously. So yeah, I hope this video was informative for you guys. I kind of blabbered on a little bit about in certain parts, and I apologize for that. I have a tendency of doing that, but for the most part, I think I stayed on track with all of the subjects. If you did find the video informative, give the video a like, share with your friends so that anybody who has questions about the game's certain aspects of the game, such in terms of licensing, you can answer their questions very, very quickly. If they have questions towards you, or they're going to ask questions to Ubisoft directly. Because frankly, I'm pretty sure Ubisoft themselves are tired of these constant, frequently asked questions asked to them. And so, yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give the video a like and stuff, and I'll see you in the next one.